What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. It is the 11th day of November, and with that, we give a special shout out to all the veterans out there for Veterans Day. We have about 7 hours, 48 minutes left in this day by the way of the charts. $2.43 is the price. We're down about 3.5% on the day, which is fine. Right, we had a nice little bit of recovery over the past week now, leaving this lower end of consolidation behind us. We are still overall in our consolidation phase here. Whatever you want to call it. Is it a horizontal channel with a blemish to the downside? Is it a megaphone like I think it is, right? Lower lows, higher highs. Could be a megaphone. Time will tell. We'll see how it goes. But the overall result of this move, whatever this consolidation phase is, whatever pattern it might be, we are expecting it to take us to the upside. And I wouldn't be surprised. The call that I made last week is that by the end of this week, we will see something around $3, right? Probably above 280, but likely around $3. Maybe just below, maybe just above, but something around $3. Maybe I should say just above 280, right? That's the expectation. And then we move up. We'll find some resistance, maybe consolidate here for a bit, and then we break out, and we look to break out to new all-time highs and just targets that are well beyond where we are now. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, zooming way the hell in now. Looking at this here with all of our indicators, the RSI has cooled way the hell off. You were overbought, very overbought. And before you were overbought, you bounced right off the oversold zone. Now you're bouncing above the oversold zone. Overall, you've got these higher lows kind of coming in. You definitely look bullishly charged. Absolutely, you do. Your low here just missed this point of resistance, but you found support at this resistance, at that support there. We could go a little lower. And with that being said, if we went down to like $2.40, we're at $2.44 right now. I hope nobody has a panic attack. It's okay if we drop even a little bit below $2.40 is fine. The stochastics are bearish. The MACD and the RSI both are at points where I would expect they bounce. Okay, so if we do go lower, again, very minute, insignificant amounts. 4 hour time frame here, looking at this, the 4 hour RSI, man, this thing looks perfect. It looks phenomenal, right? Higher lows throughout this whole thing here. We're right at that threshold. Maybe we go a little bit lower, but again, we don't have to bounce off this trend line. It's perfect. If we go lower, it's a little bit, and then we will bounce and we'll move higher. Perhaps then we form some bearish divergence or something. We'll see. Or maybe we get a deeper drive into the RSI. That'd be nice. That'd actually be really nice. Doing something like that. But I do expect typically what happens with the RSI in this kind of range, you do bounce back up, and we would expect one of two things, right? Either a lower high or a higher high. If we get the higher high in the RSI, the move up that we're going to see from here will likely be bigger than the move up that we had here, right? So the move that takes us out of here will likely be bigger than this move. If the RSI, if it gets anywhere near these highs, let alone if it gets to higher highs, we should see a bigger move overall. That's what the RSI would tell us. Not only that, we have the same kind of inclination on the MACD here, where, and again, this is something you've probably never, I don't know, there's probably other analysts who have figured this out. I'm not the only person with eyeballs, but I don't think I've ever heard anybody say this, and this is not something you're going to find in a textbook. This is just something we've observed on this channel. But on the 4 hour time frame, for whatever reason, and it's just for crypto, it's not for stocks. Maybe for stocks too, I don't know. I've only done it with crypto. But for 4 hour time frame, when these lines, God, why can't I talk? I'm a little stuffy. So whenever I talk, sometimes it's like, yeah. These lines, these lines here, the oscillators cross above the zero level. Okay, whenever we cross above the zero level here, typically we consolidate for about a day and a half to 3 days. Okay, and then once we're done consolidating, we build higher. That next move, that follow through move, is bigger typically than the move we have here. Okay, so we crossed above the zero. We've been consolidating now for basically a day and a half, which is exactly the minimum amount of time that I think we'd need to consolidate. Day and a half, maybe a couple days, who knows. Then we should be moving up higher. The thought here is that with the MACD, whenever we see this, typically, not always, but typically, the move that led us into this pattern will be smaller, or led us into the cross of the zero here, will be smaller than the move that takes us away from it, right? So that agrees with what we were saying about the RSI as well, is that we could see a bigger move here if we get similar readings, let alone stronger readings in the RSI. Stochastics are at a perfect area to bounce. Not really anything going on there worth mentioning. You look bullish overall. But overall, I would say that all of your indicators agree that there is more to go in the essence of this move, okay, to the upside. And I think being here at 244, the next target area to consider would be like 280 to 320, somewhere in this zone here, okay? That's the next kind of target zone there. I think we are going to go above $3. Let's look at the daily time frame here. Some people might be looking at the MACD and be like, how can you be bullish? We just crossed red. Yeah, we crossed red here too. It's a false cross. We get false crosses whenever we're trending upwards, whenever we're trending downwards, right? You had a false cross here, you still moved up higher. Here, you had a false cross to the upside and you were still moving lower, right? It happens. It happens. It's actually a very powerful signal. If you get a red cross and then you cross green within the next couple of candles, it's actually a very powerful signal of continuation. Daily time frame here, looking at this, the daily RSI, you're getting lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. We're looking to break this structure, man. We're looking to break this structure. That's what we want to do. 7 hours, 42 minutes left in the day. Could we come up by the end of the day and break that structure? Can we close green today? I think that'd be a nice thing to see. We don't have to. Again, with the 4-hour MACD, we could consolidate for 3 days. Maybe even longer than that, but a day and a half to 3 days is pretty typical. We could consolidate in this range still. But all in all, I would expect that at some point we do break this structure of these lower highs in the RSI on the daily time frame. We do move higher. With that break in structure, we'll break out of this. We should be seeing higher prices. And I really do believe that we'll probably move right up to one of two zones. Maybe we stop in between, but I think one of two zones, either the support zone or the immediate resistance zone, right? Something around $2.75 to $3.04. And I would think we make a little bit higher, so let's just say $2.80 to $3.04, but something in this area. We look at the high to low. High here to our low. Not the Scamwick 10th of October low. No, that doesn't count. High to low here. The 0.5 is right there at 275. The golden ratio is right there at $3.06 to 294. I think we're going to go for the golden ratio. I think we are. We're going to see prices above 290, something that's right around $3, right? That's the next target area. And we should see that happen, I think, either by the end of this week or very, very, very early next week. But I think it will be by the end of this week, like Thursday, Friday, maybe over the weekend, but sometime this week. It's somewhat common to go from your 382 down to your 236 and then up. So again, if we go lower, it's really not that big of a deal. I did say we could go below 240, and if we went a little bit below there, it's okay. 236 is where the red line is, so as long as we're holding above 236, I have no problems. I'm not calling for us to go down there. I think the shorter term time frames are actually suggesting that we move up right now. But if we were to go lower, that's just something to keep in mind. 236 can hold as support. It's a perfectly fine target. But ultimately, we're considering $2.94 to $3.06, at a minimum $2.75 or higher, likely within the next couple of days here. I don't really have anything else that I want to say. I think I want to end it there. Did we look at our daily indicators? I think we did. No, we stopped at the RSI. The stochastic suggests we have more growth to go, and the MACD is bullish divergence would also suggest we have more growth to go as well. So good things there. Weekly time frame, we're at low areas to find support, lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in the price. That's hidden bullish divergence. The MACD is finally tipping the zero. It's a perfect area to find support. I think we will. I think that's exactly what we're going to do. And the stochastics are bouncing off the 50. Perfect. All good things, all saying we're ready, right? The short-term stuff is a little bit dicey, but when you look at the daily and the weekly stuff, it's all pointing one direction and one direction only, and that's higher, that's up, that's forward. It's going up, up, up. I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves. We're expecting a breakout any day now, any week now. Whenever I say breakout, I don't just mean from here to there to $3. I mean from this overall zone any week now. By the end of this month, we should be breaking out. Okay. Take care. See you later. Bye-bye.